Hey, welcome everybody to Battle Pirates Crib. Today we're going to talk about the new FM target prize, which we already knew about, and I don't know, whatever else. Not much to talk about this show. How's everybody doing? Magic Mike?
I'm getting ready for Christmas.
Okay.
hmm The weather is Christmas-like.
Okay.
Hello.
Uh, Hello. And Pegleg, are you getting ready for New Year's?
Well, no, but we had the same weather he did. At lunch today, to walk out into a blizzard, you could see about a half a block was kind of amazing in its own right. And it's already melted already.
Yeah. Melted and dry just about.
Rather
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, let's move along to the slides.
That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? I think I'm sharing.
Yep, you are.
Okay.
All right. Relay moving to bookmark sends you to 0.0, which is the corner of sector 1. I'm assuming that means that they fixed that and that was happening to people. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm assuming they fixed that without tickets. I'd never heard about it until it showed up in the update.
Yep. News to me as well.
It was what?
News to me as well.
Yeah. So, because that would be a lot of bases stacked on top of each other, and so that wasn't good. So we had a plethora of bug fixes last week, but this one definitely seems like an important one if you were getting sent to 0.0. So, but this is an old bug where certain things would just end up there. Can't even remember how many years ago where it was just ships were ending up there. There was all sorts of things where things were ending up there, but oh well. Glad it's fixed. Hope nobody ran into that problem. And let's move to the next one. Alrighty, we are. Today's April 21st, and for most of us, it's 22nd for some. We have the new April Forsaken mission, which is 3 weeks. Next month is going to be 4 weeks. I don't know if they could change the calendar somehow so we had more build time before the first raid, but I don't know that KIXI has that power. We have speculated on the Canadian calendar at times, but I don't think that's going to fix it for anybody. So 3 weeks. We also have VXP weekend, which I find quite interesting as far as what I'm going to look for in the targets. One, I'm going to see if there's fast-moving ships. Two, the other thing of interest is how the CMs work and which CMs work, which countermeasures are working, and how they're working, to figure out how many we need to put on our ship and whatnot, and how the damage over time is working. There's a lot of, and the other thing that I'm fascinated by is damage over time, damage that we do in the VXP target going to count towards offensive VXP for your ships, or is it all going to be raw damage? That's my other concern going into VXP weekend. I don't have an individual slide for VXP weekend. Pegleg, do you have any additional thoughts associated with VXP weekend?
Based on that last part you just mentioned, the fact that shockwaves don't provide VXP points, I don't expect the DOT to either, and I think that's kind of the general tone that I've heard from both the community manager and I think Templar expressed the same thing. Is they're not expecting anything except that initial damage you cause up front to work for VXP, which might present a problem. We'll see.
Yeah, it could be. Hopefully they're ahead of that problem, and hopefully they fixed it historically, because it should count. Because otherwise, the mechanics should be in there for future raid targets where we use the Ravager. That should count towards damage points that we do to a target, and not, we get a target that says it's worth, 250,000, but we only get 80,000 because most of it was damage over time.
Right.
That could be problematic moving forward.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm not. I'm hoping they're ahead of things on this one, and not, looking back. Oh well, yeah, we should have included that, because it doesn't seem like a huge leap to go between raid points awarded versus VXP points awarded relative to raw damage versus damage over time. So I'm hoping they're out ahead on this. That would be good and eliminate a lot of frustration that people have. If anybody that's listening right now doesn't quite understand what we're talking about and wants it re-explained, go ahead and say something in chat. Otherwise, I won't talk too much more on it. But it is going to be interesting. I'm not going to go, of course, just because I'm not going to coin the whole fleet. It's not really the way I play. But as far as looking at this target to figure out how to move forward, because there's so many variables in this that I don't know how to go beyond the four specials until I get a glimpse of the actual target that it's going to encounter.
Yep, agreed.
So, we're gonna, the TLCs. Wait, it shows this. Let me double check. Is it still Titan Rising and Shadow and Flame and Blood Frenzy?
Yeah.
Are the okay, which
doesn't match with what they put out ahead of time. I know.
Yes. So okay. Blood Frenzy is useful for a lot of people that are trying to catch up in PvE defense, or I'm sorry, PvP defense. If you do not have the Overlord Carrier, if you do not have Piranhas, it provides both the technology and build tokens for them. This may not be cutting edge, and this is not what's in the calendar, but the Blood Frenzy provides, if you do all the way through Mastery, it's an assault campaign based on the Zealots. You can still do it with the what chip am I thinking of? The more recent, the
Photon.
Yeah, the Photon. It takes longer. It's not an enjoyable experience because of the spawning PT boats, but yeah, it's different than what was put out there on the calendar. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but they put the calendar out beforehand, but they should somehow update us before or change the calendar. I'm not sure if the actual base calendar has been changed to reflect this.
Yeah, that's the problem with doing a whole, 4 or 5 week month thing to save them some time. Subject to change is their defense, but yeah.
But they should change the base calendar. They shouldn't still have old information out there, because it's not a technological thing as far as them creating these are all old targets. They're not new targets that,
Right.
We're having problems with this, so therefore this is not going to show up. These are old targets. It's more of a, I don't know, forecast issue of some sort. So, but I would recommend anybody that's recently come back to the game, or Just says screw PvP, but now I want to defend my base. Blood Frenzy is a good one to do. It will help you catch up on defending your base. As did the last raid, the Industrial Revolution. Do we want to talk about the Industrial Revolution raid, the one that just completed? And everybody out there, if you have any extra points, make sure the store is going to close, depending on your sector, either in 45 minutes, already has, or an hour from now or 2 hours from now. So, any thoughts on the Industrial Revolution raid?
Like I said, it ended up being a easy enough raid to do and a pretty good sized catch up event for a lot of people, I think.
I agree with that.
Yes, there was the availability of 2 extra Badgers and 2 extra. Is somebody not using a headset at this point? Okay.
Probably did it.
Okay. In addition to 2 extra Badgers, which are at this point in time a very good defender fleet. It's also 2 extra tier 10 exterminator conqueror hulls. So and all the kit that went with them. So it's should be useful for a lot of people that aren't caught up. Along with some defender tokens and whatnot that were available here. I thought it was, I thought the availability of prizes was good. I thought as long as you were willing to drive and sort of grind out some of the targets, the availability of points wasn't bad. It might felt grindy to some people that wanted to get all of these things, because you also had 2 tier 10 turrets. I think there's only 2 tier 10 turrets, aren't there?
Currently, yeah, I think it's just the 2, the Lakuta and the the name, but I'm escaping. I don't think that missile is out. Well, I gotta look. I can't remember off the top of my head. What is that? Archimedes or something?
Isn't Archimedes?
It's a 9. It's a 9.
It's a 9. And the other thing that reminds me of is it came as a pop-up. I'm not sure where to find it, but in the for 20,000 each, which I'm assuming is prize pool. I don't know what prize pool that's in. Drake just added to this FM cycle. All tier 9 base turrets will be purchasable in the FM store for 20,000 points each. Is anybody okay? There you go. If you go pretty far down, you will find that they're all available. I see 3. I might own all of them, so that might be the problem.
Yeah, they're in 5, but all the way at the bottom.
Yes. So there's a couple of good ones in there to mix it up, because we only have 2 tier 10s. The scattergun's good. The depth charge is good, and I need to go all the way. Well, let me see. I have hide. No, I don't see. I'm not seeing the decimator.
It's there.
Okay,
very bottom.
At least okay, okay, yeah. Because I've maxed
right
out
next to the transformer.
Yeah, I've maxed out on some of these, so yeah, it is. They are difficult to see, but some of these are probably still worth it if you do not have it to round out your kit as far as how to defend your base. Is there any particular ones that anybody wants to bring up?
No, you already hit the top ones out of there for actual gameplay value in the current meta.
Okay.
So there's like three. Let me use the words must have kind of prizes, and those would be the top three right there. The new one.
Okay, just try the 166. No chance I'm doing the 80. The 184s are cheaper. I guess it depends on what your builds are and your upgrade level. I'm able to do, well, we'll get to that in a second, but I'm not at X1. I don't know what level that your upgrade level you're at or what, how you're equipped, but I find anything that I can do for instant repair is different than something that's causing a lot of repair. At least for me, I know a lot of people are like, okay, well, you know, I just want to hit 10 before I go to bed. TSM says the 166 is 25 minutes for the X1 fleet. I'm getting less than that for mine on auto. And we'll have Mike demo one later. He's getting them for about 18. I'm getting about 4. I've done I think 4 so far. One at 19, 2 at 22, and then 1 at 26 on full auto. So yeah, and Kat, you're getting 24, some combination of U2 and U3, or you're at X1. Oh, the kicks build. Okay. Yeah. That's something else. Okay. We'll have Mike run through that as well, because I saw people getting much higher numbers than that. They were getting 48 minutes or something like that with X1 with the kicks build. Okay. All
Just
right.
going to make an assumption that it's set for auto. No matter what angle you come at the target, you get the same starting point.
Yes.
I mean, most of those are, but in case they screwed up or something.
No. You start in the bottom left side. So I guess let's move along so we can get some of the demo stuff done. All right. The 163 has been replaced with the 166. Still not certain what happened to the 164 and the 165. I'm not sure why we're jumping ahead, but this is the case. I think the 163 was 13,000 straight.
Sounds right.
Yeah. So no other changes besides the fact that we skipped a couple of numbers. And does anybody want to? Well, one more slide. All right, this is my middle ground. What I saw is most often happening. The explosive, I was taking about 4%, and penetrative, I was taking about 7 with my fleet. I have a combination of U2 and U3, a lot of avalanche mortars. I was getting 22 minutes on full auto, and it was instant repair in the dock. But Mike did one during the pre-show and on full auto, and you got 18 minutes and change.
Yeah, I think it was like 18:13. Hold on, I took a screenshot. 18:13. Yeah. And driving it was like 16 and 11 or something. So
Apex Predator just posting his video on it. He's got the 163 for 11 minutes on the map.
Driving?
I don't know. He just posted it 30 seconds ago.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah. Mike, do you want to?
I can't.
Okay, I'm just thinking of anybody that could, because this target is sort of what I predicted when I saw X1, is that eventually we would end up with like a ski slope where everything is just covered with ice, and it's sort of what we saw. I thought that was sort of like punishment for people that didn't get X1. But the damage is not that much different. What do you think we would show that would be most illustrative of this target? Anybody in chat, or here on the
When it's me and it's new, I just want to see what it looks like, number one, and then obviously watch somebody do it.
is that that's what you told your wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay.
It's all good. So, what does everybody vote on as far as, do we have Mike, his build with the X1, the Kickside build with the X1? Yeah. Yeah. And probably also the Kickside build is not quite the same. Why don't we do this? Because they don't really take that long, especially at X1. Mike, I'm going to take you off present. And do you want to hit hit two of the 160? Why did I call it the 163? It's the 166.
Yeah, it's 166. But
Yeah. I was, whatever.
Kind of mentally reprogram.
Yeah. I was still upset that they skipped the 164 and 165. Why don't you hit the first 166 with your build?
Okay.
That's at X1, and then hit it with the Kickside build at X1 to show the difference that the builds actually do make associated with this. And
both on auto, I assume,
yeah,
is the best way.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me switch over here. Stop sharing.
And then we'll put you back in, because they don't, these it's a small target, which is a good thing.
Okay, we should be.
Yep. And then send that to full screen. There we go.
And this would be the
163.
This would be mine, not Kicks.
Okay. That one's yours. Okay. Let's
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we'll know right away.
okay. Let's find a 163, and everybody can see
already. And I can't find no. That's when I went back. Oh, that was my. Okay, I'm catching up. What happened was, never mind. It's just excuses. When I went back to share, I was sitting next to a target when it first came up, but then.
Okay.
That was the Kicks build that was outside my base. Okay, I have to go.
Okay. All right, you bookmark your both. Yeah.
Somebody else got it. All right.
All right. So you bookmark your own base. It's sort of like a traffic.
No, when I switched over, it went back to the build that was on the water, which happened to be right next to the base. And I thought I was hitting the target, and I was hitting just docking.
Okay.
Okay, so let's try to find another one.
But bookmarking your own base reminds me of
yeah,
the traffic song. You know the song I'm thinking of?
Not really.
I'm wasted and I can't find my own way home. Can't find my way home. Never mind. All good. All right, just let it auto, and
shall I start it?
Yeah. Go ahead. You're on full screen, and
well, I didn't know if you want me to hit the let's go button.
Yeah. Go ahead. But as you see, there's a lot of. But you could follow along. So, it's a lot of ice here relative to some of the other targets that we've seen. But the auto does fairly well. It's not, it's sort of shaving the outside of some of these HT transformer stuff. Huh. Yours is not as well as mine.
Shouldn't have done that.
Because mine moved around the edge for a while when I was watching them.
We've seen something like this in another target recently. At least that's that center big block to your left right now. That big center block looks familiar to something else they previewed tested somewhere.
Okay.
The top of it's different, but that center block is a repeat. Hide behind the rock, yeah.
Okay, so this is your build, right?
Yes.
And it has pretty much, it's all avalanche mortars, it appears.
It looks like it.
Changed
Yeah.
them over. Yeah, I don't think I have any that aren't.
Yes, and it's at X1, so it's gliding through the ice patches fairly easily. So it's moving along. It's a fairly quick target, especially at X1. It's not a really long target with people that aren't in X1. I wish it would have catch, even with, I don't have X1, but yeah, it keeps on missing this building.
Why it won't go up? All right, that big one.
All right.
Okay.
18 minutes, 13 seconds.
Is that your prediction?
Yep.
Probably pretty close.
Okay, you're taking twice as much penetrative? Oh, 3 times. Wow, that's different than mine. I take almost twice as much, but you're taking 3 times as much penetrative.
21 minutes on that.
Oh,
maybe it's because of that went into that ring.
Yeah, that was not what I was seeing.
No, that's more than the first time.
Yeah, that's not what I was seeing when I was hitting them. All right, if you could switch over to your...
I just want to show you what build I'm using. All the back ships are the same.
Okay, so it's 50-50 with the... yeah, it looks like a with the armors.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, the armors are 50-50.
Okay. Let's see. All right, this is the kicks build at X1. Because I'm running into a surprising number of people that actually, both in chat and on Discord, that have the kicks build with X1, just to show the difference. Well, I think they're going to get rid of the ship is what's going to happen. I think at best we're going to see one more 170 and one more 180, and then we're going to see a retirement. So, yeah, done 6 now. The fleet is not taking the same path each time. It seems on auto. So, yeah, that should,
Hopefully it will go around here.
Yeah.
I think is what caused that.
But I assume TSM has the same set of ships each time. So it's not some build in the ships that's causing the difference.
So something in the target with the AI is causing it to...
As soon as this one's gone, we'll see.
Nope.
Nope.
It's driving that way. Unless they're changing the target, adjusting to what we're, what they're seeing. Because, you're
taking damage all this time when it doesn't need to be. Up until, now.
Yeah. TSM's getting a damage range from 17 to 26, which is,
Must mean there's little hiccups in the path. Because that's pretty big spread.
Although with what's firing at you from the island, there's only one missile, halo-looking, whatever we call those things. I forget the name at the moment. The rest of them are the mortar explosive things that do get blocked. So you could avoid a chunk of this. It's not going to take.
Yeah, it's only really taking damage from one of the heavies.
Yep. At least for a good chunk of that time.
Yeah. At least all now.
Because this whole time it's been playing peekaboo behind the rocks here. It's not going to get anything either.
It's getting it from both of them, but not much.
Look at that. It's an auto fancy driver doing
I need to give it
fishtails. Fishtail donuts.
Not a store I'm going to start up.
Fishtail donuts.
Yeah. I don't really see the. I don't see people coming out of the woodwork to buy fishtail donuts. So
No. Popular with the cat crowd, but that's about it.
yeah. You've limited your consumers. All right. All right. Once we get this number, this is going to be kickside build at X1 versus all avalanche, and then 50-50 armor, and it's 5% and 10%. So yeah, closer to what I saw, where you're taking twice as much penetrative as opposed to 44 minutes. Okay.
What was the other one? 22, 24? I forget.
22.
About double. Okay. About double.
So the
other one was
21
minutes 8 seconds.
Okay.
Now, I wonder how bad it is for the folks that don't have their X1 fleet. They're at U2, U3, whatever, and aren't willing to spend to be at X1. Just how much of a penalty is this thing going to be on them?
I've heard up to 3 hours. Or did you have?
Do you want to do more or something?
No, I was asking Pegleg. Do you have the kickside fleet that you haven't messed with?
I believe so. Let me go take a look.
Okay. Because
which would be a U0 fleet.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
Scary.
Mm-hmm.
That might give you the hour or something.
Yep.
I've heard 3 hours. So but I doubt you really use that fleet too often.
I've never used it. I've just parked it.
Yeah. So we're not taking too many arrows out of your quiver as far as how to move forward.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe we're spending too much time slicing and dicing the single target. But there's really not that much to talk about this week, unless anybody in comments. I mean, we could talk about the. I thought we covered it. That I'm right now. I think the 4 specials that we have, I feel safe to put on, and some of the available limited weapons. But until VXP weekend, I don't really see a point in moving beyond that in regards to builds.
All right. I'm moving over to a target. I got it. This fleet is as it was given to us, literally nothing else. So I'm going to queue up a share here.
Okay. So this is as God and Peter intended.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
You guys see that okay?
Yep.
All right.
All right. This is a U0 kickside build, and that's still a lot of ice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Want me to let this just go on auto as is, and we'll see what mayhem is created? Okay.
Yeah. Just so we have something to compare them to. What is new in the game? This target pretty much is the only thing that's new in the game. We'll talk about the acid diffusion shells a little bit later, but we've been talked about them for 2 shows. They're part of the whole kit that comes out for the Ravager, and a very powerful part of that kit. As predicted, it's 140,000 points per. You can claim 2 per week. but a very powerful special. It adds +6 supercharge, some corrosive damage, yada yada yada. Okay, we're seeing some consistency as far as that. I don't think we were seeing earlier, where they keep on cutting straight ahead
Right.
across all these. You know, I don't know that I was seeing this earlier, so that might have been a change that they made.
Very well could be. And someone had asked on TFC about, how important is the special and the FM. If you want the best performance out of this new ship, it's the must get thing. If you can't get to the 140 million, you're a new person, you got the whole whatever. There are some older options that are going to be the next best kind of a thing, and they were available in the raid event. I don't know if they're going to be available again in pillage or what they're going to do on that, but there are some other ones. They just aren't going to give you that same tier 10 top end performance.
Yeah, I don't know.
We talked about some of them in the last couple of shows. So
yeah, I wasn't thinking about replacing that one, but yeah, I mean, it's. I would say suck it up, Buttercup, and go for it and grind it out to get that, because you're not going to get another special that's going to give you +6. And we'll get to that special in a bit. But yeah, this is it's taking more damage, but not as much as I thought it was going to be so far.
It's not like it's totally failing at the job. So
yeah,
I got 1857 on the second try with my build.
Okay.
I mean, when you consider this free given to a player for free who had nothing, and then they've invested nothing in it, it's got zero changes, anything else to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and the interesting part might be as far as the compare and contrast between this and the 143, which only drops 8.5K, while this one drops 13.5, because the 143 is still available, and
Yep.
And that's something that could be, do not know yet, that might be a better alternative, but not certain yet.
Just making show battle report is on, so we get those numbers. I think I can.
Yeah, it's just maddening as far as that X1 upgrade, as far as these, because there's not a lot of spots where there's not,
It's not the Everest brought to you by Toro.
Yeah.
Cutting through the snow and ice. Okay, so here this took 7% on the explosive side.
Yep.
15% on the penetrative.
Okay, twice as much, pretty much.
Yeah. And 1 hour, 28 minutes, so hour and a half.
Okay, hour and a half, U0. Okay, that's interesting, because I did see somebody on Discord say like 3 hours and something, but an hour and 28 is not. It's not awful.
No, I mean that's the free fleet as is. Nothing ever done to it.
Yeah.
Now, so we know we're at hour 28. Let's see here. Is there a 143 around here somewhere? Or are they all being gobbled up by everybody?
Okay, so it's 143. So it's 13 divided by 60 plus 43, so 103 minutes. Yeah, that's right. So you're getting 131 points per minute of damage on the U0 Kickside fleet. And this is also, it's actually a more complicated target.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
and there's all kinds of ways if you're driving it. You can drive this thing to avoid damage and play cute with it and so forth.
Okay. AJ's got 55 minutes. Did you make any adaptations? Even, the difference between 55, well, that's a big difference actually.
Yeah, no, that is.
Yeah. So I'm assuming there's a crew or a change to the build.
Did they go on
Nope.
auto like we did? I don't know.
Yeah, because this is on auto. Okay. Yeah, this is all on auto. So because I think a lot of people like to do the FM on auto.
Because I can't drive this bad. Sorry.
Yeah, but some of these targets, do you choose to drive them?
The 163, when I'm at work here, if I've got time, whatever, I'll let my fleet do that one on auto because it does it well enough.
Okay.
But I'm normally more of a driver than I am a auto type player.
Okay. Oh, good.
My working world
Yeah, this
determines
one.
what I can do.
Yeah, but this one, it seems like you're going to take more damage in this target. So far, I'm expecting more damage out of this target than I am out of the 166. This is the way it looks. But no. But you probably already know. No, you've never used this fleet, but it. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
I don't see my fleet going to X1 either. I just don't think for the life it's got left that I'm going to worry about investing in that.
No. And as you know, I've complained about that. As far as there's no good path to the getting to X1, since if you hit the 166 with one ship at X1 and the rest of them at U3, you know,
And they've got some TLOs out. Started earlier today for Everest and Cloudbreakers. I didn't take a close look at them because I'm not interested in buying anything like that right now. But they're putting some offers out there to discount to help get you there if you really want it.
Yes. Okay. So
10% taken explosive, 11% taken penetrative. Well, see now we were at.
So it's a half at 31 minutes of damage, right?
Yep.
Okay. So it seems to be a better target because it's
point to damage ratio is certainly more favorable for a no coin kind of player, or really for anybody. But
yeah, it's the 143. He's 31 minutes for the 31 minutes for 8,500 points, and then an hour and a half basically for 13.5. So yeah, it's a much better target for that. All right. All right, let's move ahead. All right, the FM prize is 140,000 points, 15 hours to equip, and like I said, this is a very powerful special. The supercharge of ×6, scattergun reload, once you add everything together, is not going to be that much. The bonus combat speed means you definitely need to put them on all your ships. You can't just pick and choose, because that is a huge combat speed bonus. But the supercharge of ×6 and the bonus combat speed both appear to be really useful for your Ravager fleet. So, Um,
So for VXP, I guess it doesn't matter. You're not going to move much, probably.
well, in VXP, this is not this is
It
more
won't
for the raid.
factor in, right? I stopped myself.
Okay. Well, the reason it doesn't really matter that much for VXP weekend is the fact that
So you could put them on or not, I guess, if you want.
well, you can only build, you
Two.
can only earn and build two out
Right.
of out of the fleet.
Which was kind of why I asked the question, because it's going to change the speed on the whole fleet, and if you wanted to keep them together. But then I realized it's VXP, and it probably isn't going to make a whole lot of difference. So
Yeah, and the other question that we brought up earlier is, are VXP points going to be earned through damage over time? And supercharge is only damage over time that's going to be gained. So if you're not gaining damage over time, if you're not gaining, we have to see what the target looks like. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But as far as what happens when the raid happens, I consider it to be one of the most important specials.
yeah, you're going to need like all four of them on.
All five. You need your whole fleet to have it.
By the time the raid starts, are we going to have the
Flagship comes in pillage.
Okay. Yeah.
Bank on that.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Just for kicks, asked about, have we found out what anti-weapon to use yet? No one's seen the VXP target to test it in yet. We had a lot of discussion with Derpy on, what was that, on Friday? Back and forth, we were debating on things. I think it was last Friday. He's pretty sold on its MDS3. The case could be made for a multi-shot option.
Yeah, we just don't know. I just, I think that's jumping too far ahead to make that assumption, but we'll have to see. So, this is something I don't see too often.
Definitely not.
Yeah. The mega ship love is just flowing in, and I've not seen that recently. So,
Josh is in the minority on that.
Yeah. So I don't know what to say. Is there anything else that you feel like we should be discussing at this point? Because we could go through the whole build thing, but I think that'd be more important on Friday after we've seen the VXP target to a certain extent. And again, like I said, things I'm looking for is how fast are the ships moving, how well are the countermeasures moving, how what's the difference, and the scary thing is, if you're just into the VXP part of it, is what's happening with your damage over time getting translated over to VXP ranking on your ships. So there's a lot of things to be looking at that point in time. But I can, I don't know, I can invite anybody that has anything additional to say, unless, are we missing something big that we should be discussing at this point?
I can't think of what. Because there's so many unknowns at the moment.
We going for a limited. That's an interesting one. Now, it is interesting as far as, because you could get, again, it's a matter of looking at the target. And it is interesting because you can create a build with 15 times supercharge and 10 multi-shot. You can create that. Not sure if it's going to work because we don't know what the targets look like. And that's going to create a max stacks situation with the scattergun and like 2 1/3 reloads. But is that really going to, do you want to stay there that long? Or do you want to run up, hit it 2 times, and then run away? It it's just interesting as far as, I don't know. Does anybody understand what I'm talking about? As far as how long you want to stay in contact with the
Mhm.
targets that are firing at you in order to achieve additional stacks and additional damage over time, as opposed to, all right, um, do we need to get to max stacks? Or, do I just drive by, hit it twice, come back, drive away out of range, and then boom, it's dead by the time I come back.
So I'm
Um,
sticking by that. I mean, I've said hit and run from the beginning is what I think they're intending here.
okay. Yeah, the DOT might max out early, but has it done all the damage you need for it to do is the issue. If you want to do, 1 million damage to something that dies after 50K or 500K, even 500K or 750K, okay, you can do 1 million damage to it, but it's not helping your fleet or anything about you moving forward. So that's something that we're gonna try and figure out in VXP weekend. But the fact that we're not, gonna have supercharged times 6 on top of all our ships, we're not gonna have a lot of things to figure this out, and that part is a little tricky in my mind.
Well, the other thing you got to think about too is that whatever's shooting at you is probably also going to do some damage over time. So you don't probably want to be hanging around too long.
Yeah, exactly. That was that's sort of drive by, and because you're going to be taking damage, whether it's through a long range turret that has the same turret range as you do, or like little ships that are going to, like the PT ships that are going to come and do damage in a different way. Yeah, it's going to be interesting as far as how the balance works out. So, how you doing, KB?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, thanks.
Very good. Anything else that you want to bring up as far as what's going on at this point?
No, well, as you've already said, the big unknown is what the VXP targets are going to do, and if they're not going to operate along the same lines as what the raid is, well, it's pointless bloody exercise, isn't it?
Well, I'm assuming they're going to work along those lines, but we don't even know what those lines are. So that's why I'm like, okay, how important is X, Y, and Z is sort of difficult at this time, because this is the most. What do you think is the best word for this this haul relative to the ones we've seen before? Because multivariable, I don't know. There's a lot of
sort of looks to me a bit like the Manticores. Didn't we have the same sort of mechanics in that particular raid? I'm pretty sure there was damage over time and stuff like that with that particular raid.
Mm-hmm.
I might be wrong, but that's my recollection.
Cat, I don't know what. One extra shot. Yeah, it's going to be tricky to see how this works out at the end of the day, as far as what is the optimal combination of. There's so many. Again, we could talk for hours and hours, but at the end of the day, I'm still like, we need to see what the actual VXP targets look at the very least to sort of move forward, and hopefully,
And again, no one's got the opportunity of having a full fleet to see exactly how that plays out either. given that there's two specials that are, or one special that you can only have two of. So at best, you're only going to have half a fleet, sort of fully operational, even if you want to go down that track.
Yeah, I mean, is the I'm trying to think right now. Does interception system has how many multiple?
That's got supercharge, I think.
So okay, so yeah, supercharge. Oh yeah, okay, but I'm sorry. Yeah, supercharge was actually what I wanted to talk about. I think that has plus. I mean, the big thing that he was talking about, as far as in the FM, you have a special that has +6, and I think that only has at the best +3. I can't
I don't know.
recall.
I'm reloading the game now to take a look myself.
Yeah. So no, it all makes sense because there's a lot of. It's been a long time since. I don't think the whole combination of weapons and specials um, has been as sort of complicated, which I sort of like, but I sort of hate the fact that right away.
It is a 3x supercharge on interception. That is correct.
Yeah, it's 3x, but it's not the 6x that you get with the acid diffusion shells. So it is. It's tricky. No, I agree. I mean, I don't. How do you make it all right? Because you only have half the supercharge in order to figure out what's actually going to happen at the end of the day.
And you can bet Kix's strategy guide's not going to give you a lot of information, if there's even one out.
Yeah. I'm not going to comment on that one. As far as the Kickside strategy guide, it hasn't been good in a long ass time. So, all right. Is there anything else that we should be going for in the live show? I can post the link in case anybody wants to join the after show, where we get down to actually what Magic Mike is going to build at X1. So, just in case you were wondering. So, all right. So, if there's nothing else, we'll see you on Friday, where hopefully we know a lot more in regards to what we've seen from the VXP target, which I think is, again, it's important for everybody to look at. In regards to CMs, in regards to projectile speed, in regards to splash, the target concentration of, how the targets are concentrated in these targets. Is splash going to make a huge difference? Because splash, you only need it's sort of a viral type of thing with damage over time. You only need to sort of touch the target. You don't have to do full damage to it in order to create this damage over time. And that's why I'm back to like 4 specials, and I don't know completely what to do with the rest of them. So
the other part of that is if we've got fast moving ships, projectile speed and splash are your friends.
Yes, but remember, the ship is the weapon. If you can go back, I think the weapon has a projectile speed of 400, and if you have 500. I'm sorry, 50% projectile speed built in, and at U1 you get another 50.
That's true, and then one of the specials has got a boost on it too.
Yeah, so your projectile speed is getting up there, because that you're already getting to over 800, which is really fast as far as projectile speed. So is splash and negative spread actually a better thing to look at? I don't know, but we'll see y'all on Friday, and thanks for showing up. And I sort of like these shows where I'm a little confused on what's actually happening, but it's sort of fun. So, alrighty, people. We'll see you on Friday, and hopefully no more. Later, people.
Night.